Hello and welcome to the FSPF report. I am creating this YouTube account because my account on TikTok was taken down for violating community guidelines. When you are a conservative content creator, that type of thing happens on a platform like that. So I am transferring gears to YouTube in hopes to have long-term success in this community. I was around 2,000 followers, 35,000 likes, and about 250,000 views. I had a couple videos go semi-viral, 80,000, 60,000 views, lots of comments, lots of likes, that type of thing. With that being said, the content I do produce, like I said, is conservative, FSPF. The F is for faith, S for sports, P, politics, F, finances. So the idea is to bring that which I was doing in the TikTok space to YouTube, and just instead of making shorts, make it one big show. So we start with faith. Any of you who have a Holy Bible app on your phone, the Holy Bible app on your phone, you know that it serves up a verse each day. I will read that verse. I'm not a preacher. I will not be extensive and elaborate on the verse. I will just read it, and hopefully it will resonate with somebody out there who needs to hear that. And then I will segue into sports. Now, sports, obviously, the NBA Finals Game 7 was last night. So we have about a 60-day window where we're not going to talk too much about sports because there's not a lot going on other than MLB baseball. With that being said, I segue from sports into politics, which is always going to have a lot to talk about in regards to politics and the political spectrum inside of the United States of America. And then I will always finish with financial support. So once again, thank you for watching. Welcome to the FSPF report, and let's get it started with our faith segment. Now today, the scripture when I opened the app was this: Matthew 5:3. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So in other words, we've all heard the scripture or the saying that it is easier for a camel to walk through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into heaven. So in other words, don't judge the poor based on your perception of them being in poverty or having poor clothes or having poor income or not having the materialistic possessions. You would qualify someone to be successful. Sometimes God reserves people from getting what it is that they think they want in life because it would detach them from Him. So with that being said, let's segue into sports. OKC wins in 7. Tyrese Halliburton tears his Achilles. SGA wins the MVP. I mean, it's got to be bittersweet for the Oklahoma City Thunder because when Tyrese Halliburton goes down, it's 16-16. He comes out, he hits 3 threes in the first 4 or 5 minutes. You really don't know, especially when this is a team who has been known for beating the odds, making miraculous comebacks throughout the course of their playoff run in the Indiana Pacers. You don't know if you won fair square. You don't know that you would have beat the Indiana Pacers had Tyrese Halliburton not gone down. So kind of need a rematch, and that's his scenario, you know. But with that being said, congratulations to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, this is a young team. They're still developing. In my opinion, the true juggernaut of the Oklahoma City Thunder is Chet Holmgren. He's 23 years old. He's 7'1". He's a shot blocker. He's a shot maker. He's a shot taker. He is extremely skilled for someone with that length and height. He has great footwork. He has great hands. He has great touch. He has a great stroke shooting ability. Pretty good athleticism, not great athleticism, but this is, in my opinion, the key to that team becoming a dynasty. I don't think that SGA showed us anything more than Jamal Murray showed us in 2023. He's a good shot taker, a good shot maker. He can kill you from the mid-range. He can make the 3 ball when you need. He can get other people involved, and he's extremely deadly in the pick and roll situation. But I think that players like Dwayne Wade, Donovan Mitchell, Trae Young, Jalen Brunson, these are the type of players who have had success. Even Dwayne Wade, he won one without LeBron, right? But then you game plan for that. You can't game plan for a 7-footer who can shoot and dribble and drive and space you and block shots and all these types of things, right? The only time you see a LeBron James is when you play LeBron James. You see SGA or his caliber of player every night almost in the NBA. So you can prepare for that. And then, so I think for someone like SGA, you get to game plan for a player like that. You know, a Chet Holmgren, you don't see him until you play him. A Victor Wembanyama, a Kevin Durant, a LeBron James, you don't see these type of players with these skill sets until you play them. So how are you going to prepare for that? How are you going to practice that? I think SGA is a Jamal Murray caliber player. I don't see him winning 3 or 4 titles over the next 6 or 7 years just because he is who he is. I think OKC, if they can keep everybody on contract as they develop over the next 2 to 3 years, has a good shot at doing so. But I was pulling for the Pacers. It's terrible to see Halliburton go down like that in that situation. But both relatively young superstars, both relatively young teams with a lot of promise in the future. So I thought it was a great playoffs. I thought it was a great NBA Finals. I thought it was a good matchup, and I thought the Pacers shocked the NBA world, the basketball world, and that's what you want. You want a hint of March Madness in your NBA playoffs. It makes it exciting. It keeps your eyes open, and you don't want to bore people with, the expected to be expected. You don't want to bore people with the same things, the monotonous of dominance and repetitive matchups in the final. Although that does sell tickets, I think LeBron and Curry and those types of things, that's great for business too. But me personally, I love to see people arise. So great NBA Finals. Unfortunately, it ended the way it ended. But OKC does walk away with their first banner, so congratulations to that organization. Congratulations to that fan base, one of the best fan bases in all of sports in America, in my opinion. So let's transfer from sports to politics. Now, politics. Trump administration bombs Iran's nuclear program sites, right? So that's obviously the main topic of discussion in regards to politics. Now, I'm not a foreign I don't major in foreign policy or geography or foreign diplomacy or any of those things. Tucker Carlson would be on me because I don't know how many people are in Iran. Well, I didn't. Now I know that there's 92 million people. I don't know all the things that play into the problems in the Middle East. I don't know what the relationships between Iran and China and India and Russia and the UK and America. I don't know the intricate details of that. What I do know is this.
Earlier, dozens of Iranian lawmakers chanted "Death to America" as they met in Parliament.
And with that, I know that Iran they refuse to separate themselves from terrorist ideologies. As a government, they refuse to separate themselves from this notion that America needs to pay. Now, here's the thing. America is not going to turn its back on Israel. So if we are guilty by association, then we have to take proactive measures to eliminate potential threats. And that's what these actions were. That's what the bombing of the nuclear sites were. It was not an act of war. It was an act of national security and acting in our best interest, because Israel is provoking Iran. Now, Iran may have started it in October's 7th attacks and everything like that. And someone may say, well, Israel started that, and then, well, Iran started. And I get the rabbit hole of the tensions and hatred that boils over is deep within the Middle East and all the big players in that region. However, we're talking about this incident. We're talking about this and how it impacts America today. So, the main thing for America is to eliminate threats, or the potential threat that Iran poses by having a nuclear program. Now, there's no way, we'll never know that. We cannot say unequivocally they had a nuclear bomb, or we're going to develop a nuclear bomb, or going to use a nuclear bomb on America. But that's not why we did what we did. Why we did what we did is because Israel is provoking Iran. America is not willing to abandon or disown or condemn the actions of Israel, which makes us vulnerable to retaliation from Iran, because Iran may attack Israel directly, but they may also attack allies. We being an ally, that puts us in danger. So I support Donald Trump and what he's done. Now, of course, the Democrats are calling this unconstitutional, which is a major talking point within their political party and the liberal left media and all those types of things. Of course, they're calling for grounds of impeachment and all these, it's just ridiculous types of things. Now, here's what I would say to those Democrats or congresswomen or congressmen who are playing this up for theatrical reasons, trying to promote themselves as, the leader of the Democratic Party. There was no congressional approval for the assassination or the hit on Osama bin Laden, right? These are things that, one, don't need to be leaked, and we know how many snakes there are within the Democratic Party. So to bring this to Congress and ask for permission is only going to leave us even more vulnerable, that they would leak this information to the media, which would put us vulnerable in our attempt at the strike, because now Iran has the ability to defend themselves. So when you look at that, I have no problem with Donald Trump using his authority to do what he did. And if I'm in Donald Trump's shoes, I'm not asking Congress for anything, much less the Democrats for anything, because you already know the answer, and that is no. We're not willing to support you. We're not willing to help you. He ran on bringing down the cost. He ran on bringing down the cost of eggs. He's done that. Bringing down the cost of gas. He's done that. Closing the border. He's done that. And he gets no praise, no recognition for that. This is obviously a point in political history within America where they're not willing to be bipartisan. Now, it's a slogan they love to use, but the Democrats are not willing to be bipartisan or to do what's best for the American people if it means that they relinquish power to MAGA or the Republican Party. So now, of course, AOC weighed in on this, and it's the typical playbook. But I'll read you what she said, and I quote, "The president's disastrous decision to bomb Iran without authorization is a grave violation of the Constitution. He has impulsively risked launching a war that may ensnare us for generations. It is absolutely and clearly grounds for impeachment." Okay. Of course, it's grounds for impeachment. Everything he does when he takes a step with his left foot where you say he should have stepped with his right foot, impeach him, right? So, when you cry wolf, you just lose your credibility to make an argument that is sustainable at any turn, because we don't even know if you're being genuine. I mean, obviously you're disingenuous, but if you were to bring a true concern about impeachment, who could get behind that? Because you guys call for impeachment every 5 days, right? Just be realistic. Now, of course, Jasmine Crockett went on to say this.
I go back in on Monday. You could have hollered at us on Monday. If you truly felt like there was something, like, there is nothing that they will say that will make me believe that this action needed to take place, and it needed to take place without the consultation of the Congress. All right.
Fake hair, fake eyelashes, fake nails, fake accent, fake leader. I mean, who in their right mind would turn to you to be their consultant? Who? I mean, we have got to figure out a way to rid these type of people of positions of influence, position of power, position of lawmaking, position of judgment, positions of leadership. We have to rid people like this out of those positions. I don't even know how someone votes for that or doesn't see through that. I really don't. Why would the president holler at anybody? I mean, be professional. It's unbelievable, and people support it. People fall for it. So now, last but not least, our financial segment of the show. Okay, FSPF, faith, sports, politics, finances. Our final segment of the show is and always will be introducing you into the greatest investment opportunity under the sun, which is 7K metals. Right here. Okay. 7K offers a monthly purchase of a collectible coin at the price of $154, which can put you ahead of your friends, your family, your enemies, even your boss financially. Okay. For more information on how to get started and to learn all about the amazing investment opportunities and compensation plan, email us today at thefspfreport@gmail.com. Again, to learn more about how this can change your life, both as an investment and as an opportunity for passive residual income, email us today at thefspfreport@gmail.com. Once again, thank you guys for joining in to my first show. I will have a co-host on some episodes. I hope to have future guests on the show and all those types of things, but we will always cover faith, sports, politics, and finances. So thank you again for watching the pilot, the first episode, and don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe to help this channel grow. I look forward to continuing to bring you more content.